Hello YouTube model community, Dwayne here, Badman Scale Customs coming at you. This evening I'm out here in my shop working on getting some tires sanded, and so I thought I'd do a little video on how I do them, or a technique that I just came up with here, make things a whole lot easier, and to say salvage some tires that a lot of guys probably wouldn't even consider using. These are the Revell slicks that come with a lot of their kits. They're the two-piece tire, and these are nasty as you can see. So I can get that actually pretty good with here's one that I was working on. It's coming around quite nicely. It's not done yet, but it sure looks a whole lot better than the other one. So what I've come up with to make things a whole lot easier is I've got a drill press set up here, and I'll move the camera over. Sorry about the lighting in here. There's just no way to make it light in here and without a bunch of glare, so hopefully you can see this all right. What I've done is I've mounted up an adapter in the drill press for a 1/2-inch socket, and the 1/2-inch works real nice for the big tires. You can it just slides in there nice and doesn't distort the tire. It's just I mean, the socket will spin in there fairly easy, but it grips just enough so that you can sand away on that without the tire spinning on the socket. So now I've got that. I'll just mount that up into the drill press. For these slicks, because I got to take a lot of rubber off of there, what I'm gonna do is go first. I've just made myself a sanding stick out of 120 grit sandpaper. This is off of a sanding belt that I have, that I use for doing all sorts of different things. What I have done is taped some of this stuff down onto a nice flat surface and use it to level stuff with. So all I did here was just took some trim adhesive, sprayed it on a tongue depressor, clamped it in a vise for a couple minutes, and you got yourself a sanding stick. And so what I'll do is sand the tire until I get it fairly round again, and once I get the tire, like most of the tire dealt with, or well, at least until it's got a nice uniform consistency across the tire, where there's no shiny spots or low spots or high spots, then I'll switch to a finer grade sanding stick and you know, go a little finer each time, maybe just to get it to the texture that I want on the tire. So really it's not too big of an operation. It does take some time when you're sanding, because you're using just light pressure, and you can also, like, my original idea was just to mount this up in just a drill, and just a hand drill, get the tire mounted in it and just spin it, and you know, lightly sand it until it came, you know, good. But when it came out here, I spotted the drill press sitting in the corner here, so I thought, hey, that'd be even easier. So I'll just demonstrate quickly how this looks once you get it going. And this one here, I'm not going to, the one that I've got mounted in here, I'm not going to use the 120 on it because I've already completed that part of the process. I'll just use black sanding stick here. It's fairly coarse grit, and I don't really know what the actual grit is, but it's not nearly as coarse as the 120 sanding belt. So I just turn the drill press on, get the tire spinning, just lightly touch that sandpaper onto the tire, just run it down across, come back up with it, just keep doing that. You know, get it a bit high on one side, you can just stay there for a bit. You can do a little bit of the sidewall if you want. It just works nice. I've spent quite a bit of time already on this tire. Getting it, I mean, this thing needed a lot of work just to get it round again. But I mean, you can see there's still one little shiny spot there. I'll just keep working it until I get that out, and you know, then I'll get, like I say, get to run it with a finer grit sandpaper just to give it a little bit nicer finish, not such a coarse finish there. So, and you can also do it. I mean, here's the front tires out of the Revell kit. 7/16 socket fits over that nicely. So just pop that in there again. Get her spinning. I just, with the front tire, because it's so narrow, I'll just square it up a little bit here. With something that doesn't sand it. Sanding stick again, and just work on that tread until it's all nice and round as well. I mean, even if your tire looks pretty good to begin with, there's always that mold line in there that you want to get out. So that tire's looking pretty good too, but there's, you know, there's always a little, seems to be a little spot in it that, like I say, I'll keep working on that. Hopefully I'll get most of that out. And anyways, that's my tire sanding technique. So just started. I've never done it before tonight. So again, I had these slicks, and I just don't feel like sitting there sanding for hours and hours to try and get these things, you know, looking like they belong. So that seems to be the ticket. I suppose you could probably use this technique on a number of different things you're doing with anything that's round. You know, if you wanted, you'd probably even cut little grooves into stuff or whatever. So anyways, that's really all there is to it. So and again, like I say, you can use a handheld drill. Maybe like, because the drill press has a 1/2 inch chuck in it, I'm able to use the sockets and adapters, necessary adapters to do that. If you know, you're using a handheld 3/8 drill, maybe like a hole saw or anything that the tire will, you know, fit lightly over. Maybe tape over the teeth on a hole saw. That's the other thing. Or, you know, anything. Let's see, I think even there's just a plain old fitting. You know, something like that might even work for you. There's a You just don't want to distort the tire at all when you mount it on whatever you're going to use to mount the tire to. So, and that's where the sockets I find are real nice. So, anyways, that's what I have for you here tonight. Haven't got a lot of stuff done here lately. I've been pretty busy, but I'm still making some progress on all my projects, so hopefully I'll have an update here within the next little while and check out and see how things are going. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Thanks.